and welcome to ENI UK and Europe Edition. I'm Giancarlo Matera, reporting from London. We'll be bringing you news reports from the United Kingdom and Europe, and we have live reporters on standby, ready to give you their reports. On our program today, the EU offers to ease the border checks to solve the Northern Ireland Brexit rout. Thousands take to the streets of Geneva to protest health restrictions. Joining us first with her report is Ariane Celestino. Hello, Ariane.
Hi, Giancarlo. Today we'll learn about a partially shredded artwork of the famous British artist Banksy, sold at an auction for a record of £18.58 million. Back to you.
Thank you, Ariane. We also have a report from EBC France, where changes on the rules of COVID-19 tests and masks in schools. This is reported by Dana Thea. From Spain, we discover Barcelona's Park Güell. This report will be given to us by Marco Alipio. And in our sports news again, we are joined by Ryan Ferrentino. Hello, Ryan.
Hello, Giancarlo. And yes, for this week's sports, we have boxing, with Tyson Fury believing he is the greatest heavyweight of his era after beating Deontay Wilder in a boxing classic last Saturday. Please stay tuned for that later. Giancarlo?
Thank you so much, Ryan. And our view from our window this week comes from Geneva's autumn skies filled with birds and colors. So we look forward to that later into the show. The European Union has offered border express lane to solve the Northern Ireland Brexit rout. The EU on Wednesday offered to reduce custom checks and paperwork on British products intended for Northern Ireland in the hope of averting a new Brexit-related spat. The European Union put forward a host of proposals in a bid to solve problems in post-Brexit trading arrangements in Northern Ireland that London say are reigniting inter-community tensions. A team of EU negotiators on Wednesday delivered the plans to London a day after the UK's Brexit Minister David Frost said the current deal, known as the Northern Ireland Protocol, should be ripped up. Designing the protocol was a major source of friction in Britain's drawn-out divorce from the European Union after it voted to leave in 2016. Both sides say they want to preserve peace and stability by avoiding a hard border on the island of Ireland, which is split between the EU member, the Republic of Ireland, and the UK province, Northern Ireland. Since the Brexit trade arrangement kicked in, Britain has turned sour on the terms it accepted in the heat of its divorce that created a de facto trade border within the United Kingdom. This has required new checkpoints at ports to stop the risk of goods from England, Scotland, and Wales getting into the EU through the back door. But the British government points to pro-UK unionists who fear that the checkpoint strengthened pro-Irish Republicans' case for a united Ireland and threatened the Good Friday peace deal. Last Saturday, the streets of downtown Geneva were filled with more than 2,000 demonstrators. The protesters headed to the streets of the city to express their objection to the restrictions imposed in the city and throughout the country. Currently, access to indoor places like restaurants, but also cultural places such as museums, libraries, and concerts require a COVID-19 certificate. This certificate is available on mobile or paper format for people who have been vaccinated, have healed from the virus, or who have tested negative to it. Demonstrators occupied famous city squares and passed through shopping areas, bridges, and other busy streets. Traffic in the city was disrupted for a while. Some of the banners they held read yes to freedom and no to the past, and no to health dictatorship. The country's anti-COVID law has put to a vote in June and was approved by 60% of the voters. A second referendum will take place at the end of November after a new request was filed by opponents. It's time for a break now, but please come back for some more E&I UK and Europe edition.
Araw-araw sa panahon ngayon, may daming tanong kailangan ng tugon. Nandito si Ali at si Papi na rin, ang smart at pretty nanay, ang siglaban ng kwentuhan. Ang sigaw ng Pinoy Nation, information, education. Ating saloobin, ipakita natin ang sagot sa problema natin. Ano sa palagay nyo? Ano sa palagay nyo? Ano sa palagay nyo?
Ano sa palagay nyo? Abangan! Simula October 18, Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 8 hanggang alas 10 ng umaga. Mapapanood sa Net25 TV, Facebook page, and YouTube channel. Mapapakinggan din sa DZEC 1062 at Eagle FM 95.5.
Ito ang ating himig.
Ang OPM. Ito ang Himig ng Lahi.
Ito ang tahanan. Ikaw, ako, tayo. Sama-sama, nagtutulungan, nagdadamayan, nagmamahalan. Bitbit ang mga impormasyon pang pamilya, pang sambahayan. Kasama ninyo para sa masaya at makabuluhang kakwentuhan sa umaga. Ito ang tahanan.
Ang resolusyon na ito ng IATF ay pinagtibay din ng ating Pangulo.
Paano pa natin mapapanatili ang ating pagiging malikhain?
Taong 1913, na-imbento ni Harry Burley ang stainless steel.
Nako, bago tayo magbabakuna, kailangan maaliw namin kayo kasi alam namin yung iba, afraid magpabakuna.
Itong mga...
Mula sa Net25, Radyo Agila, araw-araw. Tara na all!
Ikaw, ako, tayo.
Innovation, digital disruption, globalization. Startups, micro, small, and medium enterprises, as well as large corporations, all face interesting challenges in the market today. Peek into the world of exciting opportunities and partnerships to drive growth with the latest business news and information. We are open for business. Your weekly dose of entrepreneurial inspiration to update you on the latest developments in the world of business. Get up close and personal with CEOs and thought leaders to help you discover valuable insights. Sharpen your instincts for smart decision-making with the latest markets and economic trends, disruptive ideas, global innovation, social entrepreneurship, and other leading-edge business ideas. Join the conversations to create a more vibrant environment for entrepreneurship. Catch Open for Business, from vision to action.
Welcome back to ENI UK and Europe edition. Now for some more interesting stories from the United Kingdom and Europe this week. One of British artist Banksy's most celebrated works, Love is in the Bin, sells for a record £18.58 million. Ariane Celestino is with us today to tell us more. Hello, Ariane.
Hi, and yes, Giancarlo, on Thursday, one of Banksy's most celebrated works, the partially shredded canvas, was sold at auction in London. This has been a milestone to the British artist's life, as 3 years after, the artwork was bought for a fraction of that price. The artwork, now known as Love is in the Bin, was sold for nearly £1.1 million at the same Sotheby's auction house location in October 2018, before it dramatically passed through a shadow hidden in the large Victorian-style frame moments later. The surreal prank was orchestrated by the elusive and irreverent Banksy, whose identity is said to be known to only a handful of friends, and caused a global sensation. Thursday evening sale, which saw 9 bidders battle for around 10 minutes for the work, formerly called Güell with Balloon, beats the previous record of £16.75 million set to Banksy in March. Bidden for Love is in the Bin quickly climbed for the start price of £2.5 million, with auctioneer Oliver Barker reveling in the drama. The work was reportedly sold to a private investor, the 7th lot in a wide-ranging contemporary arts offering. It had an estimated selling price of between £4 to £6 million. Alex Banksy of Sotheby's said, following the record haul, that it is almost 3 years to the day since one of the most ingenious moments of performance art this century made auction history. Let's now find out how Banksy's work has been impacting people's reaction when seeing this piece of art.
He manages with these images to create a sense of feeling. He manages to capture the essence and the mood of the moment. I think after 18 months of long pandemic, really this sense of hope and aspiration that you have with this little girl letting go the love into the world as she lets go of the balloon, it's what we absolutely need at this moment in time.
Banksy's latest works have appeared in several British seaside towns over the summer, with the country's most famous street artists confirming they were his creations in an Instagram video entitled A Great British Vacation. In recent years, he has kept the attention of the contemporary art world with his social commentaries and causes, while still stirring the excitement of moneyed art markets. In March, the work that had broken his previous sales price record honored caregivers during the coronavirus pandemic, with the proceeds donated to the state-run National Health Service, or NHS. The painting Game Changer sold to an unnamed buyer for £14.4 million plus costs after fierce bidding at Christie's auction house in London. That's all from me, Giancarlo.
Thank you so much, Ariane, for joining us today and bringing us that art and culture report.
Thank you for having me today. Reporting from the United Kingdom, I am Ariane Celestino. We live in interesting times.
We go to France now, where more than 50 million people have now received the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. New rules apply to tests and masks, And with the details, here's Dana Thea from Paris.
Since Friday, October 15, only PCR and antigen test results taken within the 72 hours and carried out by a professional will be recognized by France's COVID health pass system. Results from self-tests done with or without the presence of a health professional, such as a self-test taken in a pharmacy supervised by a pharmacist, will no longer be accepted as proof of COVID status, the Health Ministry has announced. On October 11, the rule for wearing masks in schools was lifted for 21 extra departments in France. This means primary school children no longer have to wear masks in the classroom. Among the 21 departments concerned are Gironde, Haute-Pyrénées, La Réunion, and Savoie. Pupils in these departments are also able to eat together rather than at separate tables and can play sports inside as well as outside. This brings the total number of departments in which the rule have been lifted to 68 against 23 departments where the rule is still applied. The Health Ministry said that the criteria for lifting the rule was that the department has to have an incidence rate of under 50 for 5 consecutive days. The latest figures show that more than 50 million people in France have received the first dose of COVID vaccine, equivalent of 87.7% of the eligible population. Currently, vaccinations are not open to the general public aged 11 years old and below. Reporting from France, I am Danatia Eor, and we live in interesting times.
Thank you, Dana, for bringing us that update from France. It's time for another break now, but please come back for some more ENI UK and Europe edition.
Hindi ito namumunga at hindi pa lubos na nakikilala. Abay sa larangan ng agrikultura, ito pala ay umaarangkada.
Halaman?
Oh, hindi ko alam.
Hindi ko alam yung kung ano yung... Citronella yung tinanim namin kasi madali hong kumita. Tuloy-tuloy po yung harvest.
Nag-try ako dito lang sa paligid ko lang. Ang dami namang nagbilihan.
Skincare, personal care, home care, plant care, pet care. Kayang-kaya ng Citronella.
Mayroon siyang calming ingredients. Nare-relax yung buong katawan mo.
Lots of benefit in one product lang.
Ako po si Robin Padilla at ito po ang unlad. Kagapay sa hanap.
Chocolate, pahumot, merienda, pati na teddy bear. Bisan unsa na lang imong ipanghatag aron lang ka ma-remember.
Hi! Ako si Shira Opsimar at may tuto pa rin akong isang letter sender request ngayong linggo, October 17 sa Letters and Music mula 1:00 hanggang 2:00 ng hapon dito lamang sa Net 25. See ya!
Nagyo'y feelings kay nganong diling o nagyo'y something adu nagyo'y mga butang.
Ngayong may pandemya, marami ang walang trabaho at mataas ang presyo ng bilihin. Isa sa nakikitang solusyon para makaiwas sa pagkagutom ay ang pagtatanim. May ilan, problemado sa espasyo dahil maliit ang kanilang lugar. Pero may sagot riyan para makapagtanim. ang hydroponics. Sa hydroponics, hindi ginagamitan ng lupa ang pinagtataniman, kundi tubig at nutrient solution lamang. Sa hydroponics, makakapagtanim ka ng gulay at kahit anong halaman. Masusolusyonan ang problema sa kagutuman at matutugunan ang seguridad sa pagkain.
Welcome back to ENI UK and Europe edition. Now for some more interesting stories from around Europe this week. In Barcelona, Spain, Park Güell is a much visited attraction. To show us why, here's a report by Marco Alipio. Let's watch.
Park Güell, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is the most colorful park in Spain and one of the most visited parks around the globe.
Located at Carmel Hill, which belongs to the Sierra de Collserola in Barcelona, Park Güell was originally created to be a housing estate far from the fuzzy city scene. However, the plan was unsuccessful and was officially opened as a public park in 1926 instead.
Just like the other two monuments, Colonia Güell and Palau Güell, this park is named after Gaudí's patron and friend, Eusebi Güell. What makes Park Güell special is that this 17-hectare space is inspired by the nature and sustainability standards.
The design includes rounded forms, geometric shapes, and slanting columns made of rocks. People of all ages can take delight in this modernism style decorated with playful mosaics made from colorful ceramic pieces.
It is also considered as one of the family-friendly attractions in Barcelona, seeing as it has children's playgrounds, fountains, museums, picnic areas, dog parks, and more. It takes about 2 hours to cover all the major attractions in Park Güell. So don't forget your camera to take all the photo souvenirs you can take at Serpentine Bench, El Drac, or the Lizard, Austria Gardens, and the Gaudí House Museum. Sala Hypostila, or Hypostal Room, and Laundry Room Portico.
Reporting from Barcelona, Spain, I'm Marco Alipio, and we live in interesting times.
In sports now, Ryan Ferrantino gives us our weekly update. Hello, Ryan.
Hello, Giancarlo, and thank you. For this week, we have England's Tyson Fury retaining his WBC heavyweight crown on Saturday with an 11th round knockout of Deontay Wilder as their trilogy fight delivered a boxing classic in an epic battle in front of 15,000 fans at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Both fighters were knocked down multiple times in an enthralling contest full of improbable twists and turns. The 33-year-old undefeated Englishman recovered from 2 knockdowns against Wilder before knocking out the American in the 11th round to retain his WBC crown. Standing at 6'9" tall and weighing in at 277 pounds, Fury is unarguably one of the biggest heavyweight champions of all time. Saturday's thriller, meanwhile, left many at ringside struggling to think of a better heavyweight contest in boxing history. Wilder's resistance was broken once and for all in the 11th round, as Fury's devastating final combination settled a gripping battle. "We fought like two warriors in there," Fury said, and I went over to shake his hand and say well done. And Wilder responded, "No, I don't respect you." Fury added, "Is he a sore loser or what?" Fury now plans to take a break from the sport before returning in a potential fight with WBO champion Alexander Usyk or British rival Anthony Joshua, and claimed he has never felt in any danger against Wilder. And that about covers our sports this week. Please tune in next week for more like this. Back to you, Giancarlo.
Thank you so much, Ryan, for that interesting sports update this week.
Thank you, Giancarlo, and thank you for having me reporting from the UK for ENI. I am Ryan Florentino, and we live in interesting times.
Okay, for our view from our window today, we look at the skies of Geneva, Switzerland in autumn. Autumn is a much-awaited season because of its amazing display of colors. And in Geneva, Switzerland, its skies get filled with not just different colors, but also migrating birds. As the weather gets colder, birds usually head to places where they will have more access to food and warmer temperatures. In today's view, watch as the birds fly around the pink and purple toned skies of Geneva. Here we also get to see a view of Geneva's very own mountain range. And if you look closer, you'll even get to see a glimpse of the Alps. This video is courtesy of Christine Benedicto from our EBC Switzerland Bureau. Thank you so much, Christine, for this wonderful view. And that's it for today's program. We hope you stay safe and keep positive as we bring you more stories from the United Kingdom and Europe next week. I'm Giancarlo Matera, and we live in interesting times.
Tropical cyclone o bagyo. Ang bagyo ay isang uri ng lagay na panahon na nagdudulot ng malalakas at mabibilis na hangin at pag-ulan na maaaring maging sanhi ng matitinding pagbaha, daluyong ng dagat at pag-uho ng lupa. Narito ang mga dapat gawin bago dumating ang bagyo. Una, alamin ang balita ukol sa panahon at mga anunsyong pangkaligtasan. Alamin ang plano ng komunidad sa pagbibigay babala at